this. Let me make sure this. Okay, hey everybody, this is Lamont Ellis, the acquisition manager. Today we're looking at this property. I'm actually doing multiple things at once. I'm waiting to 9 o'clock before I call this agent. So, somebody, I think it was Crexy. I'm in through a lot of different organizations using their platforms, and they sent me this, and I didn't remember reaching out to the agent at all. But I use their software frequently, and they send you like notifications on properties. So I'm gonna give this agent a call, and I'm gonna see if we can get a deal. But I'm gonna wait until 9 o'clock. Um, I start calling people around 9 o'clock, sometimes 10. It just depends on my mood. In the morning, it just depends on my day. If I got a lot of free time, I wake up around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. At nighttime. Excuse me. Technically, in the early in the morning, and I get to work. I catch up on offers. I catch up on emails, things that I need to do right now. We in the process of putting somebody in position so they could do this part. But I like being in the boss role. It's easy because you ain't gotta man. You don't have to man everything. You can put people in position to do that. That's where I say money talk. When you paying for it, money talk. See, for me, I use my money as leverage. I think differently. Um, so right now, I just want to take y'all through how I vet. So I already went through these emails earlier. Hold on real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna pitch you the offer that I would pitch for Steven, and I want to see if it works. The numbers work. If the numbers make sense to him, then we can go with it. We could just JV that actual deal. I'm not too. Again, I look at relationships. So if you could, you know, I do the part of putting it together. Just give me. I think you already gave me the OM report, but when I okay, perfect. So when I get done going through my emails, and I filter a lot of my emails, the ones that I put offers on, the ones that rejected, the ones that's accepted. So once I go through this, I'll underwrite your property. Just make sure you follow up with me, because again, I'm doing multiple things, and I got it. I got it. And we can go back and forth over the offer. I'll put two different offers together as far as traditional, and then using Steven's method also. What do you think about that? Because we might be able to partner on that using both methods, Stevens and then traditional seller finance. Hmm. Down payment. What's the down payment? What's the down payment? With seller financing, it's about the terms. Mm. Okay, and that's all he said. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that fits exactly what I was saying. Yeah, that fits exactly. Yeah, that's Yeah. 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 No problem. We could definitely do that. Keep me in the loop. I'm gonna definitely follow up with you on that because that changes things again. Uh, yeah. Good job. See, you saving deals out here. Yeah, that you doing your job, man. Good job for a rookie. You killing it, bro. You killing it. Keep doing what you're doing. When yeah, that's exactly what you got to do. You got to keep showing up to the table like, hey, we could figure something out if your client is willing to work with us. I like that. Yeah, keep doing it. This is where they say following up. This is where it's key. So just make sure you follow up with me so I can get that done. Again, I'm going through a bunch of different properties, but I got you. That's very important because that's a lot of money on the table. That's a lot. Exactly, and that's why I said that's a lot of money on the table that we could benefit from. Well, that's what 4 point was it 4 point yeah, so four M's 4 million. Yeah, yeah, that's a good that's a good paycheck. Could be 100 to 200K if we structure it correctly, but we ain't gonna be greedy. We ain't gonna be greedy. Um, I got you. I'll look into it. Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm like. I ain't gonna be greedy. I ain't gonna be greedy. Um, yeah, we could put something together. But I'm in the middle of creating this video. I'll be making a lot of videos when I work. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep, I got you. No problem at all. All right, bye, man. So right there, this is why I say relationships is important. Like, I don't be tripping about the money like that because in the business world, it's a lot of greedy people, and if you're very greedy, you can ruin a relationship. And one of the things that I was always taught in as a rookie, relationships are important. If you build a relationship with an individual, that's a consistent paycheck every single time. So for me, I try not to focus directly on the money, even though it's in the back of my head, but it's a people's thing, it's a relationship thing. So if you don't know how to operate from a relationship basis, for me, building rapport, that's something I always hate to do. I hate following up, but I do it well. I just don't like doing it because it seems very fake. Look, I know what I'm here for. I want the money. I'm not here for the work relation, partnership thing. But if I got to, I do it, and I take it a step farther. Like I'm about to call this other excuse me, I'm about to call this other agent back. I think she liked the personal rapport that I have with her. So it's a relationship business. If you know how to take care of people and operate a certain way, you're good. For me, so these are all the properties that we've spoke to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a part of the thing. So we got 8 right here, and then here's the total of offers that we have on the table. So we just added 2 to firm, meaning they rejected our offer. That it's okay. And in the real estate space, you're gonna get rejections. What they say is this is like a famous quote in the real estate. The real estate, especially wholesaling. Count the no's, count the rejections. The reason why is because that's where the money is made. The follow ups. These people rejected you out of greed. A lot of these individuals, they be greedy, or they want to go with the safest route. We coming in as investors, so we're being very creative. We're doing things that it's not uncommon. It's just not thought of. It's not a traditional method. Excuse me. It's not uncommon. It's just not a traditional method. Like seller financing. Seller financing, I look at it on the borderline of it is traditional in the real estate space, but it's not a common or traditional thing that homeowners would use. It's not that common. In the commercial world, it's very common, which is that's the conversation that me and him was talking about. By the way, let me explain the situation. So, he had sent me this lead. He had sent me. Let me see if I can find it, because he sent it to me, and I'm like, dude, I already spoke to the agent. Like, I already spoke to the agent about their property, and they want the buyer to pay out of pocket. I gotta find it. I was like, they want the buyer to pay out of pocket. They're not looking to do a stack situation. So that's what the agent told me out of his mouth. He was like, "Nah, we would want you to pay the money." I said, "Dang, here it go right here." So the buyer, he was like, excuse me, I said the buyer, the agent, he was like, "Nah, we want you to spend the money. We want you to pay the money." I'm dang, because we coming in creative. We coming in very creative on this deal. So it's not like, what I mean by creative, we using, say, for what is this? He said four, but right here, let's say for a property that was worth 5.2 M's, we coming in with 1 M, or we coming in with 1.5. You see what I'm saying? We coming in at a very deep discount to purchase the value of this property. What makes this property so valuable is the so it's two things. And this is where agents kind of, they lose they shit. I'm gonna be up. They lose their shit because it is valuable. Whatever the property was appraised for, let's say it appraised for 5.25. That's the actual value. But there's different values that people look at. Perfect example. Let's say you have a car. Carly Boo Book say, hey, your car can get, let's say, $5,000. That's the value of your car. But you take it to Facebook or the marketplace, and people offering you $3,000. There's a different value price range that you come across, and that's the biggest issue, because it's not being taught in the actual real estate space how it should be. I'm in the process of being a real estate appraiser, and I remember it being in that actual thing, but they glanced over it. They didn't go into detail on how to actually, they gave you the enough to, it's like a like the Wikipedia. It tells you what it is, but it doesn't tell you why it's there, and it doesn't tell you how to actually make a conscious decision knowing that. So it affects people's thinking, because people are going after the retail appraised price, and they're not looking at the actual market price, or the actual what an individual is really willing to pay for. This is something I was always taught. The property is only valuable if the individual is willing to pay for it. So you can have a property worth $30 million, but if a person not willing to give you $30 million, or get a loan for $30 million, that price doesn't matter. The value matters if you know what you're doing. The value could definitely matter. This is why I say, I work for the rich people. Who I work for is the money people. They lending, they flipping money, they flipping legal money, I should say. They understand the debt versus, they understand good debt and bad debt. They understand the game. They understand the financial literacy game. They making financial decisions correctly. That's literally, that was my whole goal. I wanted to work around them. I wanted to be caked up. I see how they move. I wanted to move like that. It wasn't nobody around me that was moving in that manner. And for me, that was something I wanted to do. So he sent me this, and I spoke to the agent. When I spoke to the agent, he was like, "Oh no, we want you to pay for it." I'm dang, because we playing the money game. We trying to get into this deal for the little as possible. We want to make sure we make money. We looking at this as a business. So let me explain when I say that. As a wholesaler, your job is to wholesale deals. You want to wholesale deals. What makes it a deal? If the property cash flows, the mortgage is not jacked up. We're competing against the traditional lending. We're competing against the traditional deals, every to each his own. There's some people that getting qualified is difficult. There's some people that they only use cash to purchase. There's some people where they only use lending to purchase. There's some people, again, they understand really the money game and they use lending and cash to purchase. They're using a combination of both. So you're dealing with the different people that know how to spend the money. Hold on. Yeah, so you're dealing with people that know how to spend their money properly. They know what to do. So again, here's the rent rolls. There's more rent rolls. They even got the expenses down here, which that's a plus. Let me see this on this 20. It doesn't have a date on 2020. Okay, 5. There's another one. Survey. We skimmed through this a few times. Okay, yep, perfect, right here. And one of the things I was telling him is, yo, that's what you're supposed to do. You as when I was a rookie, I wasn't doing that because I was focused on making the money. And this is why I tell him, as a rookie, you killing it. That's what you're supposed to be doing. When I was a rookie, I had different hustles going on. I'm the hustle man, so I had different hustles going on. My attention was spread. My attention was everywhere. And the more and more serious I got with business, the more I started locking in. I started really like trying to figure out, okay, how can I get? Because this is a different game. This game right here, you playing with M's. You playing with M's if you know how to move correctly. You're going to play with M's. And what I mean by playing with M's, you're going to have access to millions, either pocket, either through income wise, saving, whatever the job hustle, or through leverage, or through leverage playing the credit game. Again, in this realm, in this world, you're dealing with people, they understand the good debt versus bad debt. They understand that. So it is a lot different. It's a lot different. You can approach it a lot differently. Like it's a lot of things that you could look at and be like, oh, like with this, you playing with M's. You playing with millions if you know what to do. That's the thing. If you playing with M's, then that's why I be trying to tell people, like, nah, you really playing with M's over here. Again, this is my job. I work for the rich people because you playing with M's. You playing with. There's a lot of people where they might actually not have the money to do this. This could be a syndication deal, and it kind of is with Steven. Steven is getting into this deal, and that's the crazy thing I forgot to mention. Me and Steven are getting into this deal as a wholesaler, so we didn't have to spend no money. We brought the deal to the table. So money just fell out the sky for us. Why? Because we seen an opportunity and took it. So they gave us a. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that some more. But yeah, we playing the money game. This is the money game right here. This that's what this is. This is the money game. So this is my day. I be in and out of phone calls. I'm about to call that agent at 9. I'm gonna call her at 9. The reason why I do that is because I know sometimes my day it'll get real busy. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's busy. It just depends on how bad I got everything on toe. It depends on how much I got the game on the chokehold. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I catapulted myself in a position where I ain't got to do too much because I'm spending the money on the systems and the tools to do the work for me. So all I got to do is step in and be the face. Communication is key. So I step in when it's actually time for me to step in. So since I'm utilizing my money correctly and I'm putting my money into my business and etc., I really don't have to do much because if I want to hustle harder, I just spend a little bit more money, And right now I'm in a position where leads is coming in, we can cherry pick them, and I'm building systems around the actual system that we just created as far as leads coming in consistently. We ain't got to hustle so hard. The reason why I did it that way instead of just putting all my money into, making a large portion. Because, oh, by the way, wholesaling only really works if you have volume. So you have to have volume. You can't rely on one deal. If you rely on one deal, your ass grass. That's why I was like, yo, we doing this, we got this, because you got to have multiple deals in the pipeline. You always got to have multiple deals in the pipeline. So, this is why I said we going through this. Those who in the convo. So this is the person I said we was gonna call at 9. I'm gonna give her a call. She got a fix and flip situation going on. I might go ahead and get rid of. I might go ahead and put an offer together really quick. I'd rather send it to her. Just because. See, when it comes to offers, we do a lot of creative things. So we try to make sure the agent make their money. We definitely try to make sure that agent make the maximum amount of money they can, especially putting a deal together. So we're going to give her a call. We're going to collect more information from that and see what's going on. What's this one? So we gave this person a cash offer. They haven't seen it yet. So this is what I was saying about we try to make sure the agent make their money, make the most amount of money. This is how much the real estate agent would make working with us. They would make $11,000 doing a deal with us. This is how much the homeowner would sell their property for. It's less than what they actually wanted, but that's why we're able to pay the agent the most. So with a 10 inspection period, so again we making moves. We got offers in, so I'm gonna put that. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna put all this in the CRM, and this is another thing I'm in the process of doing. So I gotta do a video on my system because it's a lot. I'm making a lot of quick decisions behind the scenes. I'm studying the billionaires. I'm studying the people that got the money. The people that got the money, they don't take too long to make a decision. They make a decision, pivot. They test it, pivot quickly, and then go to the next thing. It's not a consistent. Fail. You can't lean on the failure. You got to embrace the failure and keep it pushing. That's one of the biggest things with me. So this person, I think we sent him 3 LOIs. I will have to follow with them today. When did we send it? Because I don't remember the date. I think we gave them a date, an expiration date. Maybe we should take our time on it because I don't remember. What is the date on these? Because some of these have dates where it expires at a certain time, and I think we gave it expires on the 11th. Okay, so the 11th, we ain't nowhere close to the 11th yet. So I gave them about a week. I let them take their time, even though I shouldn't. But these are commercial properties. Okay, so yeah, we gave them 3. We gave them 2 LOIs. So this was one of the LOIs. Amortized over 15. This is the monthly payment. That down payment is what I hope gets them. So we gave them another cash offer. When did we send this out? So we sent this out yesterday at 4:22. Okay, so that was actually today this morning. That was early in the morning. I told y'all I get up real early. I'm gonna close this out and then I'm gonna start another.